Hey guys, it's Bex here, and I am here once again because what you have not seen is this is the third take with my very good and brand new friend, Josh Becker from iSimply.m. He teaches people all about self-love, which is a favorite subject here at BEXLIFE, but he gave me the best piece of advice that I have ever received that has brought me joy and money and new opportunities and happiness. So welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
Again and again and again. We connected online because we're both going to be at an amazing event in September of this year called Soul Camp. It's an adult sleepaway camp, and we're both there as speakers / teachers. And we connected online. I felt your vibe. I usually don't get on the phone with everybody that I meet online, all the strangers, but I felt the need to talk to you. I thought it was going to be like a cool, hey, we're, colleagues. Let's talk business. Let's network a little bit. And it turned into a life-changing conversation for me.
That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm holding so much gratitude for you for that. First you pointed out that I seemed a little bit desperate in my actions. And, I didn't take it as an insult. I was really curious as to what that meant. And it turned out to be true because I was meeting opportunities, meeting situations with how I felt instead of who I am. I took those words, you explained it to me more, which you're going to do right now for my people, and big things have been happening. So just to get started, I want you to tell us what the heck that means. What is the difference between how you feel and who you are, and how to apply that practically in your life?
I just really want to appreciate how open and honest you are, because had I said that to, somebody else, they might have had a different reaction in terms of, telling someone that they're acting out of desperation. And, I obviously said it in a way that wasn't demeaning or insulting or whatever. And as you know, that's not where it was coming from. But the fact that you were receptive to it and able to, take it for what it was worth really says a lot about, your openness and your honesty. And those are qualities about who you are. So that kind of gets into what we're talking about, which is who we are versus how we feel. It kind of starts at a young age where we start to confuse how we feel with who we are. If you're a girl, you're taught certain things about your feelings and what they say about being a girl and a good girl. And if you're a boy and you express or have certain feelings, you're taught very quickly that that your role as a boy is defined very much on how you feel. And I've seen even 5-year-olds that they're told to be a man kind of thing. And it all goes back to their feelings, feelings that they can't express or they shouldn't express. And so whether you're a boy or a girl, it happens to both of us. It just happens in a little different ways, but it's really the same process. What happens is we slowly, as children, unlearn who we are. We start to confuse who we are with how we feel. And then, it gets even worse later on down the road, because then we become addicted to our feelings. We become addicted to feeling good. And whether that takes form the addiction of drugs or sex or friendships or material possessions, whatever it is, we are out there and our goal is to feel good, is to feel a certain way. And we'll do whatever it takes to get that way. And when we're in the feeling good state, life is great. And when we're not, life is horrible. And the problem is that feelings come and go, right? We have many different feelings all at the same time, and then they change 2 seconds later. So to ground who you are and how you feel is crazy. It's a roller coaster. And so so we really need to get back to when we were like little babies. It's important to have feelings and to know what those feelings are and understand those and respect them and feel the feelings and know that you are not your feelings. They're two different things.
It's a delicate balance because we talk a lot about in this industry, with all these people who are loving self-love or health and wellness. And we talk about how important it is to honor your feelings and to be able to express them fully and openly and safely. But when you are placing your value or who you are in something that is changing from moment to moment, I could wake up and feel fantastic, feel terrible in the afternoon, and then I'm high again in the evening. Then it's like you lose touch with who you even are. Like, who am I if I'm changing all of the time? And who you are, I think, should really stay static. Of course, you grow and evolve, but it should be something that you can call on and feel safe connecting to, and it's not all over the place.
So this is very important. Self-worth, self-esteem, self-love, they have nothing to do with how you feel. Nothing. And when you learn
Okay.
that your self-worth, your goodness as a person has zero to do with how you feel in any given moment, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. It's not an or, it's an and. It's not I'm a good person or I feel this way. It's that you don't trade. It's not a trade-off. It's I'm a good person and I feel embarrassed. I'm a good person and I feel guilty, right?
Okay.
It's
I
an
get it.
and,
Mhm.
not an or. So we have to start changing our language and changing the way that we're identifying with the feelings in our bodies that we're producing, or we're going to keep getting the same outcome that we get all the time.
You know what? I love that we made that mistake, or I made the mistake actually, and didn't hit record the first time, and we're doing this again because this makes so much more sense. My story about how I applied your advice practically in my life makes so much more sense to me now that it's an and not an or. So I want to share that this instance where I took your advice that I got last week and I applied it right away. The next day, in fact, I wrote an email to my list. So if you sign up at BEXLIFE.com and you get the free goodies that I promise you, and then you get the weekly email, I send out an email, and sometimes it's just about something that I'm selling for somebody or whatever. A lot more times it's about me opening myself up and sharing the most intimate details of my message or my life with my audience. And what I've done in the past is, I guess I've acted out of feelings. And I shared this with you, and that's when you brought up this idea of acting out of desperation, and how it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not something that's also not necessarily healthy for me. I wanted so desperately for people to receive my message, to like my message, to like me, because I'm attaching myself and my value to my message and my work. To open the email, like the subject line that I write, does it hook them? So I'm attaching all of these feelings to my practice of showing up for my audience, for you guys. And it was making me change my behavior in a way that wasn't leading to a good outcome. So I wrote this email. I woke up and I said, I'm just going to write an email and I'm going to approach it with who I am instead of how I feel. All of the feelings were still there. I still felt nervous that people weren't going to like it or open it or receive the message. But I decided anyway to just go ahead and write whatever was going on in the moment and talk about who I was in that moment. So I am a person who loves to share things that are good for me and for you. And that's part of my purpose. I feel like I'm here to share. So I write this email. It was like a nothing email. I hit send and I immediately felt like it was the dumbest email I had ever written. It wasn't, sappy. It didn't pull at heartstrings. It was the most replied to email that I have ever sent in the history of the Bliss Notes newsletter. And I'm still not quite sure what resonated so deeply with people. And these are my audience, my brand partners. I have no idea what they responded to, and I can only chalk it up to, it was that I showed up exactly with who I was.
You get to do and be who you are and have all your feelings right along with it. You weren't trying to manipulate your feelings. You weren't trying to feel a certain way. It wasn't about manipulating yourself. Or it wasn't about me pretending you didn't have the feelings. It was about, oh yeah, look at that, I have feelings. And one of the things I like to do is I like to just say hello to my feelings. It sounds really funny, but it's like if you feel scared, say, oh, hello, scared. Oh yeah, oh, hey, scared, I see you're there. Oh, cool, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. And then in your case, it was kind of like, hello, scared. Okay, I'll tell you what. Scared, you're going to sit right here, and I'm just going to keep doing with this email. And fear, and I see you guys all there. Cool, yeah, guys, have a seat, and I'm just going to finish this email, right, with myself, right, and then send it off, just recognizing that your feelings are there, and that's okay. So just like you did, when you get to a place where you don't judge your feelings, you respect them, acknowledge that they're there, and say, hey, you know what? Is this feeling in alignment with who I am? In other words, can I feel scared and still be trustworthy and honest and communicative and intelligent and creative? And can I still be all these things and have all these feelings around me at the same time? Actually, I can. Yeah. Wow, look at that. So the more you start doing that, the more you realize, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm still feeling scared. And okay, you're just going to hang out, hey, scared, and hang out right there. And I'm going to keep going. So that's kind of what you did. And it brings us back to, one of the other points that we were talking about, which is something that I say often, which is to surrender to outcome and let intention guide you. You recognize, first of all, it's a huge deal to even get to a place where you can not only know where you were coming from when you were doing emails before, but to be able to say it publicly is huge. Hello vulnerability, right?
Scary.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal, and it's huge. So the fact that you
I'm
did
regretting
that,
it.
what? See, that's shame coming in. So say hello to shame. That's why I said that you were acting in a place of desperation. At least it seemed that way, because I don't confuse who you are with what you do. So if you're acting in a state of desperation, that means it says nothing to me. It says nothing about who you are. I still see you for the amazing person that you are. That's just what you were doing. That's just an act. It means nothing. So that's why for me it wasn't a big deal saying that, because I didn't confuse who you are with what you were doing. So if doing in that moment was desperation, so okay, you know what? Now it's a new moment.
This is why I want to honor you right now in this moment, and I think it's so important that we're able to have so many teachers and so many people that can come into our lives. I have heard this before. I know that I'm not my feelings. I know that I have value and that I'm worthy. But the way you said it to me that day, it struck such a chord in me. I say the same thing in meditation too. When people say, I can't meditate because I can't get rid of the thoughts. And I approach, I guess, the thoughts the same way you approach the feelings. It's like, hey, hello, thought. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. I got to get through this meditation. It's the same thing. So when I lined it with that practice, that all came together for me. So it totally makes sense there. So I'm going to invite all of you who are watching to first connect with Josh, isimply.m next, or you can do it in the other order, which is probably more practical and economical when it comes to time. You can leave your comment below if you have any questions, requests, questions for Josh. He'll come back and answer your questions. I'm volunteering him, and or questions from me. I really love this conversation. It's such a simple statement and a simple idea that has been so profoundly life-changing and light bulb going off, lightning striking, head exploding for me. I mean, really, I cannot overstate how important this statement's been. But you're just like, whatever, I do this every day. This is, par for the course.
Not at all. No, I feel the same way. It's huge. It's huge. When you get it, it's huge. And then to be able to practice it like you're doing. So it's awesome.
Find us on social media. His website is going to be right here on the bottom of this screen, and it will be throughout. And then also in the video description below, click away on that as many times as possible. Reach out to us, sign up for our newsletters, all that jazz. And thank you for joining us. I'll see you soon in another BEXLIFE video.